Hey guys, welcome to the show. We have Nirvana's Nevermind from 1991, and this Saturday marks the 20th anniversary of the album's release. So if you haven't listened to it in a while, now would be a good time to break it out. This is side 1, track 2, In Bloom. Okay guys, so when I decided to do this album review, I had a dilemma. What songs do I play? Because everyone's heard this album, or at least they've heard the singles on the radio. So I thought, well, I'll just play my favorites. But I like the whole album, so that wasn't gonna work. So I thought about it, and this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play just my favorites that weren't played on the radio and only from side 2. So here we go. All right, we're kicking off side 2 with track 2, Drain You. So what can I say about this album that hasn't already been said? It's sold 30 million copies worldwide to date. It's ranked number 1 on Spin Magazine's top 90 albums of the 1990s. It's number 17 on Rolling Stone's 500 greatest albums of all time. It killed off the remaining glam metal bands of the 1980s. It ushered in a brand new genre of music called grunge to the mainstream and paved the way for the alternative music boom of the 1990s. It defined a generation and it spoke to them directly, and I was there for all of it, and it was completely over my head. I mean, I was in the 4th grade. What do you expect? I mean, look at that face. Is that the face of a Nirvana fan? Was Kurt Cobain talking to me? No, I don't think so. My main interests were as follows: Star Wars, Weird Al, candy, Legos, Nintendo, and G.I. Joe. Teen angst and rebellion were foreign terms to me. My daily afternoon struggle was choosing between watching DuckTales, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or Batman. I mean, I was more concerned about the Super Nintendo that just debuted in August of that year, and I was this close to getting a TurboGrafx 16 for my 10th birthday, but luckily I got the Super Nintendo, and I'm digressing here. Anyway, let's move on to side 2, track 1, Territorial Kisses. Oh my gosh, man, when I was in junior high, I thought this song was so punk, so hardcore. I would go crazy pretending I was in a mosh pit, and I'd be like, ah! You know, that was junior high. I mean, come on, you can't blame me for that. Okay, this is a 2009 reissue pressed in Germany on 180-gram vinyl, and I bought this new, and I paid probably more than I wanted to, but you guys are worth it. I wanted to give the best to you, and you know what? I'm not a cheap date, and I provide. So I grew up with the CD version of this, and I was really curious to see if they would put the hidden track on this album, and they didn't. But it made me remember that one of my friends had the CD, and he said that the hidden track wasn't on there. And I was like, wait a minute, why would they not do that? So I always wondered what the true story was. So I'm hoping that Professor Watson can clear up this mystery.
The hidden track, or Endless Nameless as it's known as, was a jam Nirvana recorded and decided to leave on the master tape as a joke.
Look, Mom, your favorite, Nirvana.
Not knowing this, the CD pressing plant left this track off the first 50,000 to 100,000 US copies, thinking it was an accident. But it didn't take long for the band to realize this omission, and all later copies were pressed with this hidden track. However, tape and LP versions did not have this track. Thank you for learning.
Golly gee, thanks a lot, Professor Watson. Now I know. And the more I know, the more I grow. So now we're gonna jump down to the last track, Something in the Way. When Cobain killed himself in 1994, I was in the 7th grade, and I was just starting to discover new music and figuring out what I liked for myself. And I got real into the alternative sound. I mean, look at me. I'm like trying to pull off the whole grunge look with my Massimo flannel that I got from Pacific Sun. Anyhow, I was in junior high, and everyone was making a big deal about Nirvana because Kurt had just died, and I really wanted to find out who they were. And so I bought this album through the BMG Music Club, along with Green Day's Dookie, which just came out, and Blues Travelers 4, and I think I'm a little embarrassed to admit that right now, but I have to say that this album stood out among the other two. I mean, it was just that good. I mean, it was one of those albums you could put on from start to finish, and you would just enjoy the whole thing. You wouldn't have to skip any tracks, and I think that's the mark of good music. I mean, great music is its timelessness, and I still like this album, and you can still hear these singles on the radio alongside contemporary songs, and they still sound fresh. I mean, that to me is a testament to this album, and it gives credence to why people think this album is so great. This has been Nirvana's Nevermind. I mean, what can I say? It's one of my personal top 10 albums. I would have this on a desert island. You need to own this. And if you do, pop it in, throw on some flannel, and celebrate this Saturday with a little Nevermind. I am your Vinyl Geek, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Go away, fly. Get the thank you. No.
2 of them now.
I will kill you. I will eat you like a frog.